Jedi Fallen Order made me fall in love, begin to hate, and fall back in love again. Right out of the gate, Fallen Order is massive and epic. The scale it establishes in the first moments of the game is extraordinary. Character models look gorgeous, and so did most environments. There was occasional pop-in and textures that didn't load, but we'll get to that later. Handling Cal felt really good. He's smooth and always in control of his own movements. He feels like you would expect a Jedi to feel, even if he's only a Padawan. I found the game's movement tutorial was dragging on a little long, but I might have just been really anxious to start dismembering stuff with a lightsaber. So take that with a grain of salt. Jedi Fallen Order brilliantly makes Cal feel special, not powerful, which is the moral of this story. Fallen Order achieves this in unique ways by giving Cal unique abilities like being able to sense echoes of the Force in objects to learn more about the object's past. He also has the ability to stop or slow down objects and enemies. Cal will unlock more familiar Force powers as the game progresses that will help him both with exploration and combat. This makes the game feel inherently Star Wars, using the environment as an advantage in combat and creatively outthinking your opponent rather than overpowering them is what makes Jedi so cool, other than the lightsaber. On the first planet you explore, Cal must jump into a pool of water where I could clearly see movement beneath the surface. This had me thinking, I wonder if it's safe, I wonder what's down there. Well, whatever it is, I'm a Jedi and I can handle it. This is great world building by Respawn, especially for those that have seen the original trilogy and already know that with the variety of life forms in Star Wars, water that isn't clear isn't safe. And I enjoyed that. Respawn paid great attention to detail and spent time on the little things. ATST pilots fall out and are armed with a pistol after you down them, and you can use force push to fire a rocket launcher back at a stormtrooper. It feels like they thought of everything, and they didn't force it on you. It's organic and it feels right. Fighting with a lightsaber and force powers does not get old, but some things definitely do. It is easy to feel lost in the beginning until you get a hang of the map. Load times are long, and these are especially annoying if you're respawning a lot, which you might be. This game can be difficult. Very difficult. I had numerous technical issues, no crashes, but there was a few times where I would be endlessly falling through the world and had to close the game and start from my last save point. There was also some performance issues, with some lag and lots of texture pop-in. Sometimes the textures never even loaded. This didn't ruin my experience, but it did briefly pull me from the world, and it's worth noting. There was a time during my playthrough just over halfway where it broke me a bit, and I was getting frustrated with the exploration. There were so many pathways and puzzles that I felt overwhelmed, like my brain had to always be on. I loved feeling like a Jedi, but combat is a large part of that, so when I felt more like I was endlessly exploring and puzzle solving the same planets multiple times, with some combat sprinkled in, I got anxious and frustrated. Again, this can be especially frustrating if you haven't gotten a hang of the map yet. I recommend paying close attention to the map's legend. I honestly didn't even notice it until it was almost too late. This game tests you. Fallen Order respects your intelligence and doesn't make anything easy on you. It was my fault for not knowing Fallen Order required me to be intelligent. Once it beat me down, I picked myself up, focused, and started understanding the systems, puzzles, and exploration. This made the game much more enjoyable. The game earned my respect, because it respected my intelligence first, and I regret that I almost gave up on it. Jedi Fallen Order has a compelling story that feels like it belongs. Not only is it canon, but it exists well within the cohesive Star Wars story. Cal is a relatable and believable protagonist. Sarah is flawed, but understood. Marin, the Night Sister, is one of my personal favorites, and I won't spoil why. And finally, BD-1 is one of the best droid companions Star Wars has ever had. Order 66 is represented horrifically through the eyes of a child. This game presents the Empire's evil better than I have ever seen before. The Jedi have gone from leaders with power to desperate survivors. In Jedi Fallen Order, many Jedi have been forced into situations and taken actions that go against the Jedi way in order to survive. Fallen Order rewards your time, and has an excellent payoff. No story is a great story without an impactful ending, and Jedi Fallen Order exceeds that expectation. From beginning to end, the story, set pieces, cutscenes are epic and engaging. Like the movie you need to see in theaters. Your living room just doesn't do it justice. Fallen Order's story relies on special moments that make you feel like a Jedi. Being able to customize your lightsaber with plenty of options is a dream come true for any Star Wars fan. Fallen Order lets you fulfill that dream, but the game doesn't make it a big enough deal, and it doesn't feel earned. My final issue is with the Wookiees. If you haven't seen it yet, the character design leaves a lot to be desired, and I hope that this was just their vision, and they weren't rushed to meet the release window, because it looks like that was the case. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is demanding but rewarding. The story is worth the time it takes to get going, and as challenging as the combat is, I've never felt more like a Jedi. Fallen Order doesn't hold your hand, and it shouldn't. Technical issues never ruin the experience and barely detract from it. As long as you're up to the challenge and enjoy exploring interesting environments, I can definitely recommend this game. If you don't think the game is worth your time or money, but you're a Star Wars fan who wants more lore and more Star Wars, then I highly recommend checking out the cutscenes so you don't miss out on the story, because there's definitely something there. If you enjoyed this review, give it a like. If you like our style and want more, subscribe. We're also going to be releasing a spoiler discussion on Jedi Fallen Order, so be sure to check back on us here at Gameswriter.